It's now time for entertainment galore. And here to help you with the DCs is Comic Book Man and Bo.
It's about comics. Introduction for the novice, expansion for the expert. DC News, Episode 81, The Turn of a Friendly Stomach.
Bo. You know what? Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for Bo Cephas.
DC News.
DC News. What could possibly be going on at DC we could talk about?
Oh, nothing.
DC,
Just wrap it up.
DC News is coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics, including all my DC comics, whatever the hell they're going to be printing, will be 15% off and are 15% off and always have been 15% off every day for everyone. First story we got up, and this is sort of an all-creator edition of DC News. Bunch of creator-related type stories. The first story up involves the Siegel lawsuit and Superman eventually flying out of Warner Communications. What's up with the lawsuit, Bo?
U.S. Magistrate Judge Ralph Zareski, ruled that documents that were stolen.
Stolen? What?
Siegel's lawyers
Call
Mark
Superman.
Tobin stolen, literally walked out of the office mysteriously under the cover of night from lawyer Mark Toporow's office, have been declared accessible by the Warner Brothers lawyers involving the lawsuit. Now,
so they can use them?
they can use them now. Yes, they can use
Stolen. So they can use stolen.
Yes, they can use stolen material in the lawsuit. Now the papers.
Holy Pentagon Papers, Batman.
The paper, part of the papers they got suggested Toporov, who's
Yes.
a lawyer who, by the way, is working for no money right now, and
Why?
Agent Ari Emanuel. Yes, that's the brother of our mayor, the talent agent.
Oh.
They've got this secret agenda to control Superman for themselves. Now, Toporov told Deadline Daily, he said, I'm working for a contingency fee, which happens to be legal in the state of California, and I don't get any extra money whether they win or not. So. Now, what's really cute about this is, right now...
No, Toporov is Siegel.
Toporov is the Siegel's lawyer. He's also going to be representing the Schusters because the Schusters can't sue for their portion of the copyright as of yet. But
it's coming.
In 2013, according to U.S. copyright laws, here's how the breakdown goes. Warner Brothers and DC would own half of the character. The Siegel family would own 25% of the character. The Schuster family would hold 25% of the character. So...
Just kill him now!
So
just
Warners,
kill him now!
Warners, if you're thinking about going along with the fact that you have this stolen material to tick off the Siegel and Schuster family, go right ahead, because in 2013, you got to go through them if you want to do anything with the character.
And the
Schusters.
Yes.
My advice to you guys, settle. Settle. Give them their money.
They should have crossed that bridge a long time ago. Warner Communications should have settled with them a long time ago. Pissing them off is not going to do anybody any good.
Joanne Siegel, who's the widow of Jerry Siegel, she actually said that if former Warner Brothers chairman Steve Ross had still been around, he died of cancer, none of this would have happened because Ross would have basically solved it and he wouldn't have even gotten to court.
Yeah.
Now you're in this really ugly court fight, which is just basically going to make everyone really, really annoyed.
Well, I've been saying for a long time that the Siegel family has every right to as much money, and the Schusters too, have as much money, right to as much money as they can get for the character once the rights revert back to them, if for no other reason than all the BS that they've had to put up with over the last couple of years with Warner Communications, or for all the years previously that Siegel and Schusters got screwed. But having said that, once they get a hold of the character, I don't think that the Siegel family or the Schuster family really have any idea of what the hell they can do with the character to market him correctly.
And so
I mean, it's one thing to have the characters, it's another thing to actually do something with the character. Warner Communications, whatever you might think of them, has been shepherding this character now for the last 70 or so odd years. They know how to shepherd the character. They know what to do with the character. He's an integral part of the DC universe. The best people to take Superman and do something with him is Warner Communications. And, hold their nose, kick him in the ass, but, at the end of the day, Warner should wind up with Superman.
Yeah.
And the Siegel should, and the Schusters should wind up with a big hunk of money.
Oh, they're going to get a whole lot. I would imagine they're going to get a lot more money now than they were getting before this whole lawsuit started because they're really kind of annoyed about all this.
Oh, I would be too. Warner's has gone out of their way to piss them off.
Because they brought in an outside lawyer, Daniel Petrocelli, and they said another guy pushing this lawsuit is DC's main counsel, who's one of the guys behind the whole thing of using the stolen material to sort of make Toporov look bad so that he would leave. But Toporov says, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Moving on to happier news, Northlanders has been canceled.
Yes, Northlanders will end with 50. Now, here's an amazing coincidence.
Actually,
with
I
Brian
like
Wood.
Actually, I like Northlanders. I like Northlanders. I'm not slamming Northlanders.
Brian
It's a
Wood.
good series.
Brian Wood.
That was being ironic.
Yes. Brian Wood. He had a DC exclusive.
Yes.
He decided not to renew it.
No.
He actually applied to be one of the writers of the new Supergirl series.
Yes.
He didn't get it. Coincidentally, a couple of days after this whole thing
I
was
wouldn't
announced,
shed too many tears from what I've seen of what they're doing with the House of L. You're better off not having your fingerprints on that when the body turns up.
Yeah, but coincidentally, as soon as all this stuff got released, then all of a sudden, people at DC decided to cancel Northlanders. The book, I mean, they said basically, he's going to end the book with 50. The book will end with 50. He's going to get everything he wants to get done with the thing. He's got some other stuff to announce before the New York City Comic Con, which I'm assuming have nothing to do with him working at DC, because he, along with a whole bunch of other folks for this whole relaunch, have no work at the company anymore.
Now, well, Vertigo's still a separate entity from
Vertigo's
DC
still a
Comics.
separate entity.
Despite all the
It will not
relaunch
be-
and
yeah, it
everything,
won't be part
Vertigo's
of the-
still separate.
It won't be part of the relaunches, and he and one of the people who worked on Local with, talking about doing something else. But Wood is the kind of guy. I mean, he was doing indie stuff for a while.
Yeah.
He was brought into mainstream comics by Warren Ellis when Warren Ellis was running the X-Men titles. He did Generation X. There's a strong possibility he may end up winding back over to the Marvel company at some point, but he may just decide to stick with the indies and go with that.
Now, is 50 his out point for the book to begin with, or
50
is that something that's been decided for him?
Well, 50 wasn't his out point. He had the single issue story and an arc to happen after. He had more stories planned after that, which we'll never see.
But it was limited. It was limited, like
Well,
Transmetropolitan,
well,
like
yeah, the
Preacher.
book-
He had an out date at some point.
Yeah, the book was going to end at some point. He hadn't figured out what that out date was, because he's already ending DMZ. I think he probably wanted to go to at least about 75. So you got at least 25 Viking stories you're never going to see, unless he takes it somewhere else, because you can't really copyright the idea of doing Viking stories. You can't do Viking stories anymore, Brian.
No, anybody can do a Viking story if they want. Last I heard, Vikings are public domain.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lee Ferguson can't sue you for using it.
Just do another tribe in
Anywhere.
Norway, and have them do
Not
something.
from Minnesota.
Not from Minnesota.
You can do a
They
show.
have a
You
copyright
can show the Minnesota Vikings.
Someone who can't get a job, though, someone who can't get arrested at DC right now, apparently is Steve Rude.
Steve Rude posted on
Rude
his
the Dude.
Yeah, Rude the Dude, Nexus fame. He posted on his Facebook account that he wanted to return to working on mainstream comics.
Yeah.
For one, he needed the cash, and two, he said he's been away for a while.
Yeah.
He said the one company he wanted to work for was DC. He talked to a couple people he knew while he was hanging around DC, a couple of editors. One editor basically told him to go to hell. The other editors didn't want to talk to him, and so at this particular point in time, Rude, who wanted to work on Supergirl, Superman, Big Bart and the Female Furies, and Almac.
Again, he's better off not having his fingerprints on the house.
Well, actually, I would have rather seen the Steve Rude Almac than the the one they're
Olmec.
going to do.
Yeah, Olmec. Yeah.
Or even,
By the way, it's Olmec,
Olmec,
not
or
Olmec.
even Supergirl. I mean, Big Bart.
One Man Army Corps, OMAC.
Rude,
Olmec.
Rude can't get arrested. So I'm assuming, I don't know, he's going to do something for money. I hear Image is hiring. Marvel's got artwork. You want to do some stuff, but hey, go find work.
Has Rude ever done anything for Marvel?
Rude has done a couple of covers, and I think he worked on a
Yeah.
couple of specialty things.
I'm thinking Daredevil. Did he do anything with Daredevil? He's got that Wally Wood type style. Wood did work on Daredevil in his first couple of years.
I think he worked on. I think they did the X-Men Heroes for Hunger thing a long time ago, and I think he did a couple of independent things. He's never really done anything major for them. I think he did some Silver Surfer stuff too. I think at least some pencils or something like that.
Okay. And the last story we have involves a dynamite new take on Wonder Woman. You want to know how to sell Wonder Woman? You want to know how to get people to pick up Wonder Woman on a monthly basis? I got one word for you. Bondage. And that ain't me, honey. That's DC.
Bill Sienkiewicz and Frank Miller decided they wanted. Basically, Miller came to Sienkiewicz and said, "I'd like to do something with a DC character that's not really used right. I'd like to do something with Wonder Woman. And why don't we do something called Wonder Woman Bondage?"
That sounds great.
Because he said, the whole idea of the Amazons and it seemed to work with it. And Sienkiewicz did a couple of pencil sketches, he did a couple of art samples for stuff,
Yeah.
which
Did
were
they
never
involve-
supposed to be seen.
Did
by
they
the way.
involve ball gags and?
The image that popped up online was her wrapped up in a whole bunch of chains. Now this image
Yeah.
was never meant to be seen. The problem was someone bought it and didn't know he couldn't post it online, and so Bleeding Cool had a copy of it, and then they cleaned it up, and it looks really, really nice. But it's Wonder Woman wrapped in chains. Now, of course, the folks at DC have no intention of doing something like this because it would be scary.
Well, Wonder Woman, I've I've been saying this for many years too. Wonder Woman is DC's Superman with boobies. Wonder Woman, which is one of the reasons why I have such a hard time doing anything with her. Wonder Woman, essentially, for all the Amazon stuff and for all the Greek mythology and for all that stuff you want to layer on top of her, she's essentially Superman, you know, in a one-piece bathing suit and boots. She's wholesome, okay? And while you can get away with a little bit of cheesecake with Wonder Woman, you can't get away with anything much more than that with Wonder Woman. And I know all about her early years with Charles Chester Moulton.
Moulton.
Yeah, the co-creator, the guy who created the lie detector, and his interest in bondage and how that is rifled through those early issues.
And that is
very
the main
odd,
reason why Miller Kevin said,
it's
Marston did it, why shouldn't we?
because it was not. What they did in the comics in the 40s is not what you're thinking of right now. No. It's not the same thing. It is, but it isn't. It's not the same thing.
St. Kevin said he actually did some really explicit drawings.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
But no one, he has them
I'm
at home.
sure he did.
He got them at home, and they're never going to be released, they're never going to be
Yeah,
seen. But
yeah.
if you see him at a con, go, Bill, let me see.
Well, I got a big news flash for DC. You can go to any artist at any con and say, "Yeah, I'd like you to do a sketch of Wonder Woman with a ball gag and dog with and most artists will be
Having
happy to
sex
do
with
it.
a Hulk.
Most artists will be happy
Sure,
to do
what
it
the
for
hell?
$25 to $50 a figure
I'd buy that for a dollar.
at a con. At a con.
I'd buy that for a dollar. San Diego, just walk up to St. Kevin's and go, just draw me a couple pages.
Hey, maybe that'd work on TV. The Wonder Woman project.
Of all the guys that can be drawn on those, Sienkiewicz isn't exactly known for his pin-up style.
No, he's not.
No, but
he's not.
he's known for a very unique, and actually his style's pretty cool, but it's
Yeah,
not something
but
that mainstream
it's not
people
exactly
get.
the sexiest style out there.
Well, actually,
No,
this-
he's not
this-
he's not known as a good girl artist.
Yeah.
He's known more now as more of an avant-garde type.
Yeah, he was a little. I mean, when he made his pop, when he popped up at Marvel and
he was
doing
all
New
like
Mutant stuff.
swishy and
He started out. He started
abstract.
out with more regular style, and as he kept working, his style got more different.
Well, he started dabbling in watercolors. among
His
other
Moonset
things.
stuff's like
Yeah.
really
Well, yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah.
it's great art for that style, but
Okay. And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more DC news, but you can go to the store's website and check out all the DC news that Bo sends me that I post up eventually. We've had problems with the website over the last couple of months. I know all about it, but everything is more or less taken care of, and news is rocketing your way at some point soon. Where's the
That means
store's
I'll have to
website?
go through all the old news and see what I can't use anymore.
Where's the store's website at? Sarah knows.
Sarah.
www.maraltonetreality.com. We took down the picture of Bo in a Speedo, so now it's safe to go back.
So that's it. Go to the store's website and check out all of Bo's news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man
And Bo.
saying, that's it for DC News number 81. I don't think I said it at the top, so I'm going to squeeze it in now.
81.
Bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.